the Holley MoParty in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm back at Holley's MoParty for its third year, and everybody's anxious with anticipation of what this thing is going to look like. The MoParty got off to a great start amidst COVID in 2020 before getting cut short thanks to bad weather in 2021. With an absolutely perfect weather forecast for 2022, this third year should really be the telltale of where this show is headed and how it will stretch its legs going forward. Holley made several great additions to the show this year, one of which was adding a Mopar Survivors tent. Unfortunately, just weeks before the show, Mel Major, who organizes the Mopar Survivors, passed away unexpectedly. Thankfully, his two sons picked up the ball to continue his dad's life's work and rallied a great showing of unrestored survivors for this year's MoParty. I'm here today with Greg and Ken, and they are Mel Major's sons. And for those of you that don't know, shortly after Carlisle this year, their dad Mel passed away, and he is the guy responsible for creating the Mopar Survivors and building them up to what they are today. It can't be said enough of what he contributed to the hobby is bringing awareness to those kind of vehicles. And so, everyone's concern is that keeps going, and it's my understanding that you guys are going to push that forward. So, it'd be a legacy for them. So you're thinking what shows going forward?
Well, definitely Carlisle. That's one of the biggest shows. They've been the best to us.
Now there's an interview at Carlisle right before your dad passed away, because no one expected him to pass away, and that's a great interview. If you haven't seen it, go to Carlisle on YouTube.
Generally, if you just Google Mel Major Mopar Survivors, that interview is the first thing that comes up.
And that's
so it's the easiest way to find it.
Yeah, it's a must-watch for everybody, because that really...
And it explains what it's all about, how it started.
That's
exactly. The big thing.
So at Carlisle, how many Survivor cars did you have there?
I believe it was between 40 and 44 or somewhere in that area.
And is that a record for any show?
It's close. I think he's had, over the years, there have been a few big shows, and it's been in the mid-40s.
Right, but Carlisle now is the biggest gathering, correct?
Right now, right?
Yeah. So you guys are battling aging car owners, because a lot of these guys are original owners.
We've been doing this for since '97.
Yeah.
So a lot of the original people are all his age, or he was kind of one of the elders, but it's definitely they're aging, and there are new people younger people that are buying the cars. I know it's harder to get them now, so. Well,
the cars never go away.
No,
they live on.
So, the core group is getting older, and the shows at one time he was probably doing, maybe six shows a year
Right.
He was trying to branch out everywhere. I think he went to Vegas one time.
Oh, he was rolling,
he was trying to do things. A lot of those, he was working full time at the time, so it was definitely hard for him to. Luckily, he had a lot of vacations, so he could take long days, long weekends. But he definitely enjoyed it, and it was more about the people.
So outside of Carlisle, this one in Holley is brand new, and it looks pretty up and coming. I think it's going to be a good deal.
Potential,
So this would be the #2 Survivor gathering in the future.
Yep, definitely.
So
I know a couple of the other shows that he did he wasn't getting much response lately for any of the other shows, really.
Right.
So Carlisle is a big show, and this was a potential that he was really looking forward to.
Right. So Mel has a purple Barracuda. And where's that going to end up now? He always wanted you guys to have it. So. Well,
we were trying to talk to him about that, what his intentions were, and it'll be our responsibility now until we decide what we're doing. It's not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
It's part of the family.
Yeah.
He came close to selling it a couple times, and he didn't, and we have no intention on getting rid of it. So.
Well, he's kept it this long, and when I see that car, I always think of him. I hope it's the same for you guys. It's a good memory. Yeah. So if you want to become involved with the Survivors, if you have a Survivor Mopar, how do they find you guys?
Well, we're keeping his contact information, his phone and email that is publicized everywhere. It's been 26 years, so we can't really change that.
Right.
And then as I'm talking to people, I'm adding some of my information, contacts, cell phone, my email. And if anybody's interested and got anything, just get hold of us, send an email or a text or call us. And we are looking for more cars like he always was. That's one thing we haven't figured out yet.
So do you guys have a book or a registry? How does it work?
For his age, he was very computer literate.
Okay.
He's got a database, and he would go through each spring, and by March I think he would email invites out to people and try to get responses for the shows that were set up for that year.
So it's kind of a first come first serve. He sends them out to people, and whoever wants to come.
We haven't figured out how he did that yet, because he always wanted new cars. But let's say Carlisle, he wanted 45 cars.
Right.
But he'd like to mix in, you know, he'd like to get 10 or 12 new, like first time people,
right,
and then existing people. And we haven't figured out how he did
all
that.
Right.
That was his secret, I guess.
You'll have to diplomatically figure that out.
We've got to work that out.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did when he had if he had too many responses, how he, you know, whether he would get to a point where we'd have to tell people, hey, he usually set deadlines.
Right.
And if you didn't respond by the deadline, you know,
right,
we can't do much for you, you know.
Well, I can't say enough about you guys carrying on his legacy. I think it's an absolute perfect thing for you guys to do. And we're so happy as a Mopar community that you're doing that.
Yeah, well, he put a lot of time and effort into it, but it was also a lot of the people involved, I mean, yourself.
Well, it's a big family. Mopar's a big family, you know, it really is. So.
Yeah.
Back again this year was the popular autocross and Dodge Thrill Rides. Taking this show to a whole new place was the addition of an off-road course. Thankfully, the Bowling Green facility is so vast that the dust and dirt from this track is not a factor for the other show patrons. Holley's hope for this new dirt playground is that it will attract the vast Jeep community in coming years. One of the biggest challenges in dealing with Holley is that they are not inherently in tune with the wants of Mopar enthusiasts. In some ways, this is good because it creates a fresh approach to a Mopar show, but there are specific things that Mopar people expect from any major Mopar show, and that is a very healthy swap meet. The good thing is Holley is smart enough to have developed a steering committee for this show that is made up of both Mopar enthusiasts and industry leaders to help guide them on its trajectory. One of the most significant changes this year was moving the swap meet vendors to the front of the show right inside the gate and enlisting the help of Jeff McBride to manage its growth. So new for this year at the Holley MoParty is, I guess the right way to put it is, they've separated the midway from the swap meet vendors. And to do that, they've brought in a legend. Jeff McBride, which he is a legend.
Son of a legend.
No, he is a legend. He restores Mopars. Anyone in the Mopar lifestyle for any length of time obviously knows Jeff, knows his parents. He's done Mopar all his life. I've known Mopar since, I mean, I've known Jeff since you were like same age as me.
I think Dad got you into the whole magazine business at one time.
He did. Do you remember the whole TDM deal with the door panels? I'm the one that got. I had that damn door panel. You guys started. Your parents are probably still pissed about that.
Yeah. We still got the molds, matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah.
But anyway, that aside, so what they did this year is they brought Jeff in to orchestrate a proper Mopar swap meet. And the Holley guys are used to doing an LS Fest or doing a Ford Fest, and they don't do swap meets at those things. Mopar guys are the king of the swap meets, and it's important to us because we can't get parts like those guys can get parts. And it's a scavenger hunt. It you know, it's one-off parts that we find at these swap meets. So we go to swap meets first when we go to a Mopar show. Isn't that correct?
That's always been, I mean, it's always been the norm of a Mopar show. You have a swap meet, and you know, almost every time it is 50, at least 50 or 75% of the gate of people coming in, they're going over to the swap meet to buy parts.
So what you've done is you put the swap meet right inside the gate. So
the spectators have to go through that before they can get to the rest of the, what I call the dog and pony show over here with the drag racing, the drifting, all that.
So that's really worked out well because the parking is right behind.
Exactly.
And the problem with this show is it's kind of downhill, and to drag a fender up that hill, I
got them at the top of the hill now.
So what do you think about the change? I mean, how do you feel about all this?
Hey, every vendor that I've talked to, I had a questionnaire, because this was my first year. I had a questionnaire of, you know, kind of what do I need to change? You know, what can we do to make it better? And, you know, I only had one person out of 87 vendors that said, you need to be back on the other side.
Right.
You know, at the other side, we had no room for expansion.
Right.
At this place, we have about 75 acres of expansion. You know, that's our whole goal, is to move
push
that
back.
way. Right.
So you have no restrictions from Holley. You can just keep going and going.
They have given me the green light. They want that whole field full.
Right.
You know, and you know, when I went out earlier about 10:30, 11 o'clock, you know, there was a swarm of people in the swap meet area, and they were kind of dwindling down towards the car show stuff. You know, the blessing we have is the car show's right across the aisleway from the swap meet.
Right.
So, you know, they're going to come see the car show. They're going, but you know, I've had a lot of vendors that are, you know, just thrilled to death, and the new location, they see the expansion. You know, that's the best part is, you know, they see the expansion. It's the vision.
Right. So you're kind of in the same situation here as with Carlisle now, which if you want to do this show, if you think this show's going to be big in a couple years, you need to get your vendor spot, because what you say is you'll guarantee everybody that's here, you'll guarantee
Oh yeah,
they've already
we've already told them they're going to have, you know, that's something that me and the company that contracted me, we're going to work on doing pre-registration. The guys that are here now are going to get the same spots if they want them. If they don't register in time, then they can steal somebody's spots.
Right.
But there will be a pre-registration so that people can, you know, kind of plan their year out, or if they want to come and sell parts.
Right.
You know, we're going to have a thing up to do that.
But here in the next couple of years is going to be critical, because you're basically buying lakefront property at this point. You're right up front. That's where you want to be.
These folks have lakefront property.
Yeah, so wait a couple of years, you won't have that lakefront property.
It's going to be three streets back from the lake. I mean,
yeah, so
you know,
it's time to probably move if you haven't come to this show yet. So Jeff, appreciate all your work. You've done a fantastic job.
I mean, I had good examples of how to do this. So I mean, it's, you know, like you said, my parents did it for so long, and I mean, you know, it was just.
But it's always stressful going into these things, especially you not having experience with what this was going to look like this first year.
Oh yeah, especially, you know, me being six and a half hours away, it was like, but dude, it laid out beautiful. Everybody's happy, you know. Everybody, the biggest thing they had from the last 2 years of this year was nobody knew where their spots were going to be. Right. They had no assigned spots. They have assigned spots now. And to me, that's what they all told me was, that's what they loved so much about it was, hey, this is my spot. You know, they feel like they're, like you said, lakefront property. This is my spot, you know. So, you know, it's cool. And I mean, I have one vendor that he's got like 35 friends. They all want to be in line. So I told him today, I said, look, here's the deal. You can move out over here, and I'll put all your I'll block off one whole section to you, and all your buddies can be there. And he's like, that's cool, I'm gonna talk to him.
All right. You know, so they can go online Monday and start getting spots for next year, correct? Or you got
I don't know about Monday. We're going to work on that and what have you. I'm going to work with these vendors that are here now, and I will do everything I can to either myself or Holley will get on the MoParty site and announce what's going on so that everybody knows and they can start registering. And as best I know, my phone number's been on the website I've thrown into this 45 days ago. It's been on there ever since. I'm a person that is very accessible. My phone never gets turned off. So, you know.
That might be a mistake.
Hey, you know from doing what you're doing, you got to be accessible for at least a little while.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Great work. Great expansion. I think it's going to be great for the show.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, drag racing is a staple for any Mopar show and is the centerpiece of the MoParty. This year I was introduced to a racer, Johnny LaBoose, who I'm told has won more Wallies than any other Mopar racer out there. All right, Ken Meredith's family adopted me when I went to Chattanooga years ago, and I've never get away from them, but they're like my second family. So in the Mopar world, you have friends, and you make friends years, and you see them year after year after year. So when you showed up this year, you've got this loose caboose car, and you're telling me about Johnny LaBoose, and it's your car, correct?
Yes.
What's your name?
Bradley Smith.
Bradley Smith. So that's a pretty awesome car out there. So you're talking about a Hemi Roadrunner that you raced for how long?
I don't know how long. In 1971.
You bought it in 71? So I heard you bought it for like $800 bucks?
No, I give 1,000 back.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Put the price down on it. I won't never forget. I had to borrow the money to get it.
So was it a Hemi car when you got it or not?
No.
Nope. Just 383.
The accident was a 383 4-speed car. Pat and I, my wife, we took off, went to Florida in it. It was on Saturday night, but I think we left Monday or Tuesday, went to Florida in it, and told her when I got back home, I pulled the motor transmission out of it, and I was building it, make a race car.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Did you race before that, or this was just a spur of the moment?
This car here?
No, before, yeah, you raced before.
I've been racing all my life. That's all I ever know. I don't know nothing else.
Speaking of that, so I heard you got a couple Wallies at your house?
There's a few of them there.
How many are we talking about here?
I ain't never counted them, I don't know.
Because this man here said there's 150 of them in there, is that true?
I doubt it. How many's in there, Macy?
A lot.
There's I've never seen in one place.
So probably.
You got a picture of it?
I do.
Well, show them a picture of it.
We'll show a picture we get there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in the Mopar world, you're probably the most winning Mopar driver that nobody knows about. That's probably accurate, correct?
Well,
He's raced Canada. He's been to Michigan. He's been everywhere. And as a kid, we grew up sitting in the bleachers, 4 or 5 years old, watching John LaBoose. He was our Richard Petty. He was our hero.
And what was the track you guys were at?
At Brainerd, Optimus Dragster.
Was that the one we went to?
That's the one we went to. We ran the
Yeah.
MoParty a long time ago. But and we just grew up watching Johnny. He was the first guy to get an Omni, right? A laser.
I went to Assembly and got a Romney in 1980 when they come out.
Uh-huh.
And I went back up there about 3 months later and got another Nova Assembly line. And 2 of them. I always like to have 2 Roadrunners and 2 Omnis and whatever.
You gotta have a backup car, right?
And then they come out with Daytonas in 85 and Mopar wanted me to have one of them. So I took the body off of one of the Omnis and put a laser body on it. Had to change the cage and everything on it. But we got it done. Still got it at home.
So,
Still racing.
what condition was this car in when you guys got it?
Oh, it was like a $1,000 car.
No, when you bought it, when we got
No, it was a
No, when you guys
when I bought it.
you bought it, what condition was it in?
It was rough.
It was rough? So what,
Yeah.
you sold that one years ago? Or?
Years ago, I sold it. I found it. His dad and I was pretty tight. And he bought several cars from me, both his boys and all that. And he wanted the Indy in it. Pete did.
Right.
But I never put it in. Bradley took that over. Anyway, I found the car up in Nashville. And it changed hands a couple of times. And I got it. And Bradley wanted it. And there it is out there now.
So is that back in the original paint that you ran it in?
It was an F8 car, right?
It was, I don't know if, I think I had it painted.
Okay.
I had it painted. When I first got my other Roadrunner, it was green. I couldn't afford to paint it, and that's how I wound up with green. And I had a joke. And we raced the green cars.
That's just the way it was.
Yeah,
huh?
it had to be.
All right. So what's your best story with this car here?
I mean, there's so many of them.
Tell me one.
I mean, I don't know what you're looking for, but
I know that one time he had a 65, also had a 65 Hemi car.
Okay.
He took the Roadrunners to Bristol on Friday, qualified, right? He qualified the 65. Took the Roadrunners back to Brainerd on Saturday.
Well, you left out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Friday night, I took the Roadrunner and went to Sand Mountain.
Right.
Okay.
That was my grocery money.
Okay.
Every Friday night, her, me, and the kid take off and go to Sand Mountain.
And what you making a race
Because-
like that back then?
It costs $2 a class
Okay.
to run.
Okay.
You can run 4 classes. So I run super stock D, E, F, and G. Cost me $8 to run. And the class winner in G, that was my class, super stock G. The winner got $25.
Okay.
And then super stock F was $30. And super stock E was $35. And super stock D was for the Hemi cars and stuff. And I ran it also, and it paid $50. And every once in a while I could win it.
Yeah.
Always won the other 3.
Okay.
And it was $100, $90-something I think every Friday night we got. We went to Sand Mountain Friday night. Saturday morning got up with the Hemi car, took off to Bristol, and qualified. And we left there, come straight to Brainerd, and I won 2 cars. I won 2 cars Saturday night at Chattanooga, Brainerd Optimus. Sunday morning got up, went back to Bristol, and at the Spring Nationals, and I won it Sunday. And the kids had to go to school Monday, and it done rained and everything. I got stopped 3 times going to interstate with that Hemi car back there in the truck. The first one, he said, "You know how fast you're going?" I said, "No, sir." I said, I wasn't even on, I was on 81, Highway 81. I said, "I don't know." I said, "Probably 75 or 80. He says, "Well, that's what I thought, and I shot you at 95. And he wrote me a ticket, and he kept my driver's license. Back then, that's what they did.
Right.
And I got over this side of Knoxville. It was about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I got stopped again. Policeman, I said, "Look, I ain't got no license." I said, "I got this ticket I just got. I'm trying to get my kids home to go to school in the morning." There's in the back of the truck sleep. He said, okay. He said, I'm gonna give you a warning ticket. I told him I appreciate it and everything, and I left. I got Chattanooga. Police got me. He stopped me and I said, you ain't gonna believe this. You want my license? I told him, showed him the ticket, told him I got another one. He said, look, you got enough bad luck going on. Take your time, go on home, get them kids in school. Just don't go speaking now. And we went home, got the kids in school. But that was a weekend that, you know, we'd had a lot of them like that.
But you want bonus money, didn't you? Because didn't Bristol say if you ran dead on your number?
That wasn't the first.
You know what, Kim? John can tell you step by step of everything his dad's done. He can't tell you anything because his theory has always been, that's over. Let's go to the next one.
Somebody told me a story one time. It said LeBoo's won the money. They were loading up. He left. They were going down the interstate. LeBoo's truck and trailer was on the side of the freeway with no car. And he talked the state trooper into getting in there.
That did happen.
That happened.
That did happen.
Wait, what happened?
That was when we left Sand Mountain.
That was
Birmingham. That did happen.
I unloaded that road runner and took him for a ride down that interstate.
Was it a cop on you for a ride?
Interstate 59. He's a state trooper too.
Middle of the night.
But he didn't give me no ticket. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I had to leave in the next morning and go back to Bristol. I forgot all about that. Yeah, it happened though.
And we were at the drag strip. I'm not going to say who it was, but the guy came up and said, Johnny, everybody sees that road runner's back and all that. And he walked off, and Johnny said, one night I run him on the freeway so many times I had to get Pat to hold my money. He said, I run him from a dead stop, beat him a roll, 10 roll, 20 roll, 50 roll.
Bottom line is, when it was all over, he says, he got somebody to drive his car. And he says, I'm gonna give you $50 to race with him driving his car. And I'm riding in the back seat. I want to ride with you. I said, well, just jump in there. I took it. Pat was in one seat. He got back in the back of that Barracuda. And it was a little Barracuda I had that night.
Right.
He got in the back of him. I went out there running his car. He gave me my $50. That was back in the 70s, probably.
And when we grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, it was common that if the money was right, he'd roll up in that green loose caboose, just like it is, unload it, take their money, take it back to the house.
He ran out there behind Eastgate Center many times.
And he pulled the loose caboose with his wife's 68 GTX.
Cool.
Silver black vinyl top.
Cool.
that was her car, but I raised it every week. That car probably won. I wouldn't say. I got $50.
He's won $1 million. You don't want $1 million races?
I won $1 million race at Memphis.
440 dragster. I mean, he's
that's an old. What got an old 200-inch dragster.
Front end or rear end?
It's just a
Rear end.
It's a rear engine. It's a hardtail.
Yeah.
Not a coil.
Right.
It's an old car, but it's still sitting there. It's ready.
You got a picture of the trophies?
I do.
Let's check that out.
Let's see. Hold on. I wasn't prepared.
World Championship. What, 19? 18?
2017.
17?
You said you went to the house and you had us all the trophies, and there's a whole other room full of trophies.
He said, turn around, open the back wall, there's a whole back wall. If there's a Mount Rushmore of Mopar, it'd be Richard Petty, John LeBooth. I don't know who the other two. You could say Sock Ronnie Socks and who in the boy. That August the Babel. This man would be on it.
I appreciate that.
Good deal, Johnny. Thank you for talking to us.
No problem.
Good luck out there. You just got to win this one. And you're good.
One at a time. Go someplace else. Yeah, he got to have rock on it.
All right, what made you decide to do this project?
Well, Johnny and my dad was buddies for
Yeah.
all of my life.
Mhm.
They raced together, good friends, and I found the car. Actually, Johnny found the car, and he asked me if I'd be interested in redoing the car. So anyhow, I bought the car, carried it back home, and my dad started on it. He came down with stage 4 lung cancer. Probably a year into the work.
sucks.
And I lost my dad, so
Yeah.
I had to finish it.
Yeah.
So
Just in memory of your dad? That's awesome, man. So I'm sure he would be proud of the work you did. So tell me about what you got going on here. You got a big
Got a Hemi.
Yeah.
Johnny never run a Hemi, not in a road runner.
Can I pull this off?
We sure can.
So what made you decide to go with the Hemi?
Well, it's what my dad wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted to put a Hemi in a loose car because Johnny never run them. So anyhow, I got Matt Hensley to put me to get my motor together.
Right.
So, and here we are. You know, it's still running very conservative right now. We're just bringing it in.
What did Johnny run in it? 440?
He always run a 440.
Yeah.
And for the biggest part, he runs 3 deuces.
Right.
It's just a little different. I catch a little slack from Johnny because he says it needs a 440, but hey, he's not complaining about the Hemi.
So he's still racing this thing,
Oh, yes.
right? So
He had to let me drive it. Yeah, it's my car.
So what are y'all running this weekend? How fast?
Yeah, he's running 640s this weekend.
Right.
It's probably a 6.0 motor.
Right.
26.0.
Right.
It's still in the break-in process. We'll leave it where it's at.
So you're just getting used to it now, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So how tall of a tire you run? That's a huge tire.
This is a 14.5 32.
And what kind of gear under it?
513 gear.
Okay. And you like those big tires like that?
Look, no, these are small tires.
Oh, they okay.
A lot of people that remember LeBeau's, he ran 1533s, and the rear quarter was here.
Okay.
So that made him legend in this car. I couldn't do it. I had to set it down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyhow, here it is. And he's comfortable with it, so that's great.
Right. So this paint scheme is what you remember him having in the day?
It was solid green when he first started, and then years later,
Right.
he decided to do the feathers.
Feathers on it,
So-
yeah.
And that's what we like the best. That's just the way we put it back.
Cool. I'm glad to see you using the old iron. You know, a lot of people put them together, but very few people come out, especially with the original driver.
We weighed it today for the first time since I put it back together. We weighed 3,400 pound by itself.
Right.
So it's a tank.
Well, you got it pretty light there. The doors are pretty light when I was opening them up, so you've taken some weight out of it.
That's right. Well, he had cut it out years ago, so I had to put it back together the best I could.
Yeah, it came out great, man. We love it, and thank you so much for letting us feature it.
Yeah, thank you.
In the spirit of what Holley is trying to create with this MoParty, for 2022, the formal car show judging was dropped in lieu of Celebrity Choice Awards. While this was a little rough around the edges for this first year, I can see where this could go in the future with a little bit of tweaking. First off, the classes need to be separated into stock and modified, something that was not done that way this year. Then if classes could be paired up with celebrities who are known for that class, think Jim Reinhart for Best A-Body or Mike Copeland from Arrington for Best Modern Motivated, and then these awards become something very special. Back again to Wild the Crowds was Jamie Smith, who hung the General Lee out for some serious airtime.
This thing is hammered, but it's still a car.
To put an exclamation point on the MoParty, Holley puts on a no-holds-barred burnout contest that I think it's safe to say is unrivaled by any other Mopar show. Unlike last year, where we saw the show leaning more towards drag racing, this year with Holley's edition of the Mopar Survivors, the off-road track, and moving the swap meet closer to the front gate, has the MoParty really started to round out nicely. I think by any account, this third year of Holley's MoParty can be measured as a success. It was bigger, better, and more fun than ever. When it comes to the MoParty, I think one takeaway that everyone needs to keep in mind is we're all comparing a 3-year-old show against most other Mopar shows that are 30-plus years old now. With that in mind, I think everyone will agree that the MoParty is off to one hell of a good start. If you want to see more videos like this one, please smash the subscribe to Mopar TV button below. It's absolutely free. And for a more in-depth look at the standouts from this year's show, make sure you have a subscription to the only Mopar magazine that matters, Mopar Collector's Guide. That's a wrap from the MoParty 2022. Until next month, I'll see you on the pages of MCG.